else.
Yes, we'll have to go.
Huh? Just need some time to get up. I have injured legs. Can you stand on that side, please?
Okay, just listen. Like I just follow because sometimes I just lost, you know.
Oh, okay. So,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry,
that's okay. Take your time.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare There's another one.
Ki.
Dat is vrij hard. Daar kom je wel achter.
Krishna. Welcome here. It's called the Amsterdam Sunday Feast. Today's lecture will be given by His Grace Ananda Swarup Prabhu, a disciple of His Divine Grace Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, a founder child of our movement, which is giving very nicely twice a week, I think, Wednesday and Friday, Bhagavad Gita classes on our Facebook site. If you missed that, please take a look on that. And today, I think it's the first time since the Corona period started that he's back. So I'm really happy with that. Give him a big Haribol! Haribol!
Everybody wants to move a little bit forward, a little bit closer to the back.
Thank you, somebody.
Oh no, they put it back.
Thank you.
Actually, after Ramada, if you can, I'm going to talk on this, I'm not going to show it, but if you find this one to put up, you have a database of all the
To start with this or Radhamada first. That will be during the lecture. I'll talk about that.
That's okay.
Maybe I'll chant it, maybe not, but I'll talk about it anyhow. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vallabha Girivaradhari Vijana Astotara Sata Shri Srimadesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premsakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shri Vasari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samavedha Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. So, this is the Sunday Feast lecture. Prabhupada started this program in 1965-66 in New York. So it's one of the most important ways that we have to reciprocate with the public. What is the reason for the Sunday Feast? Is so we can come together and we can hear about Krishna. Simple as that. Everything comes from hearing, not from seeing. Seeing is subsidiary to the ears. Anyhow, I've chosen a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll read that verse and then we'll discuss some points of philosophy. There'll be some time for questions and answers also. Bhagavan pratihetu je kori upais Shravanadi Bhakti Krishna Prapira Shadai. Translation and purport of Srila Prabhupada. It is only by devotional service, beginning with hearing, that one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the only means to approach it. Purport. Mayavadi philosophers are satisfied simply to understand Brahman, to be the sum total of knowledge. But Vaishnava philosophers not only know in detail about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but also know how to approach Him directly. The method for this is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as 9 kinds of devotional service beginning with hearing. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam. Bhagavatam 7.5.23. one can directly approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by executing the 9 kinds of devotional service, of which hearing about the Lord is the most important. Shravanadi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very favorably stressed the importance of this process of hearing. According to his method, if people are simply given a chance to hear about Krishna, certainly they will gradually develop their devotion, their dormant awareness of love of God. Why is that? Why is it that by hearing about Krishna, our love of God becomes awakened? That is because that love of God is already there. You don't have to import it from any place. It is there, and by hearing, you wake it up. By hearing, you disengage from material activities, which absorb you 100% night and day, and you stop giving that attention, your full attention to material life, and you begin to look inside. It's not a, you don't need a PhD to understand this. It's already there, you just have to turn it. You have to turn your attention around. And it's, therefore, Krishna Bhakti or Krishna Prema is called Nitya Siddha. It is eternally perfect. It is eternally in every living entity. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Shradya Kabunai. You don't get it anywhere externally. But Shravanadi, beginning with hearing, Shravana Adi, beginning with hearing, Shuddha Chitta. You purify your consciousness, Karayudoy, and it becomes manifest. Just like the sunrise. You cannot order the sun. But if you set the sun on its own will come up and bring light everywhere. So by hearing the sunrise of our love of Godhead, which we hanker for in everything, we're looking for love everywhere. That love is already there, and when it becomes awakened, then everything will be illuminated. You won't need to know anything more. So here, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayudoy. Love of God is dormant in everyone, but if one is given a chance to hear about the Lord, certainly that love develops. Our Krishna consciousness movement acts on this principle. We simply give people a chance to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give them prasad to eat. And the actual result is that all over the world, people are responding to this process and becoming pure devotees of Lord Krishna. We open hundreds of centers all over the world just to give people in general a chance to hear about Lord Krishna and accept Krishna Prasad. These 2 processes can be accepted by anyone, even a child. It doesn't matter whether one is poor or rich, learned or foolish, black or white, old or still a child. Anyone who simply hears about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and takes prasad is certainly elevated to the transcendental position of devotional service. So, this is the Sunday feast, giving you a chance to hear about Krishna. I see here there's a lot of Indian faces. This is your culture. It's not easy to take birth in India. It's not easy to take birth in a human form to begin with. And to take birth in a pious country, where there is a pious culture, we can understand your spiritual nature. It's not an easy thing. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he admitted it. He said, Bharata Bhumita Hoile Manusha Janmachar. Bharat Bhumi means the land of Bharat. Manusha Janma means human birth. Dharma Sartha Kori, you in that birth, in that place in India, you can perfect your dharma or your innate activity. Kori, Koro Para Upakar. And then you can benefit everybody else. This is the duty of people born in India. That they shouldn't simply come to the temple and pray to Krishna for material facility. but they should come and get knowledge about their own identity and then help others. So Srila Prabhupada, he wanted very much that Indian people would take this understanding. Why is that? Because in India, people understand they're not their body. You don't need to go to school or university to understand you're the spirit soul. Even a simple farmer in India knows about reincarnation, knows about the spiritual nature. So, to understand this important thing, Prabhupada wanted Indian people to participate. So now I see some Indian faces. Even you're not living in India, you're still Indians. Even the government of India, they recognize you. They call you PIOs. You know what a PIO is? Person of Indian origin. In other words, if you have an ancestor who was born in India, a father or a grandfather, anyone, you can apply to the Indian government and they'll give you a special status called a PIO. You won't need a visa, you won't need a residence permit, you can live in India, you can have a bank account, you can do business. So you're recognized. So you have this facility. And Prabhupada very much wanted Indian people to take up this philosophy. But it didn't happen very much in his time, but it is happening now. So to come to the temple is very auspicious. And most people, they practice religion for some material benefit. In fact, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is the process. He didn't invent it. I didn't invent it. It's been there in the Vedas since thousands of years. The great sages of India, they studied the human nature and they put it down in writing. And it is coming down from time immemorial in what is known as a Guru Parampara. Even Krishna, he told Arjuna in the Gita that this knowledge is not something you can invent. It is coming already from time immemorial. Imam Vivashvate Yogam. He says, I instructed it to Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Ikshvaku, to Manu, and Manu instructed it to Ikshvaku. Evam Parampara Praptam, so Praptam means to get this knowledge via the Guru Parampara. Imam Rajasayu Vidu, and the great kings and rishis, they knew this. But Sakalanea Mahata Yoga Nashya Parantama. But my dear Arjuna, because of the passing of time, this knowledge has been lost. Because people, frankly enough, they have their own interests at heart. They want to be happy. If I cannot be happy, then I cannot be happy with anyone. First, you have to become happy. Then your partner can be happy, your family can be happy, your community, but you have to do the work to become happy yourself. That's the most important thing. So, most people come to the temple or go to the church or the mosque to become happy. They need something. And what do they need? They need money, they're unhappy, they need happiness, they're curious. Chaturveda Vajantamam, Krishna says, 4 kinds of people worship me. They are Sukritina, they do something which is pious. Coming to the temple is a pious activity. You don't have to come to the temple, you can go to the park. You can go to the bar and sit and drink your beer. It's up to you. But if you come to the temple, then the idea of coming to the temple is to connect with the knowledge within your heart. So, people normally go to the church, dharma, they practice religion. Why? Artha, to get material benefit. Because we all need to live. We need to eat. We need a house. We need a job. We need a partner. Everybody has needs. This is the material world. And if you're pious, you pray to God for those needs. So dharma, artha. And what do you do with those artha, with the material facilities you get? Kama. You satisfy your senses. And when you get tired of satisfying your senses, Then moksha, you want liberation. These are the four processes. But what Prabhupada was teaching, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, is way beyond that. It is called the Panchama Purushartha. Purusha means human being, and Artha means what he gets, what his benefits of it. There is four Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. There is a fifth Purushartha, and that is Krishna Prema, the love of God. That you come to the temple, you get your material facilities, but at one point you think, who is giving me these material facilities? Who am I depending on to become materially happy? So Krishna is giving me, or the God in the temple. Whether you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus, or whether you're a Buddhist and believe in Buddha, or a Hindu and believe in Krishna, sooner or later, if you have any brains, you figure out that somebody is giving me these facilities. Therefore, it is interesting for me, it is beneficial for me to find out the source of these facilities. And this is when real spiritual life begins. When you try to understand what is the purpose of my life. In fact, if you look at the material situation, everybody gets material facilities, even the birds and the bees. You know, I live just here. There's a big garden inside these buildings here, you see? They're made in a square. But in the middle of it, it's a huge garden, the size of a football pitch. It's right outside my door. So in the morning, I see the birds flying around. I see them in winter and summer. And they have everything they need. There is a male bird, there's a female bird. There's always two of them flying around, if you look carefully. And they get what they need. They take buds from the trees, seeds from the ground, and all arrangements is made for them. Every living entity is taken care of. So if the creator of this situation is able to give facilities to all kinds of living entities, why not us? So this is the purpose of human life. We have come into the material world and somehow we have forgotten our relationship with God. Coming to the temple means that we want to re-establish that relationship, which is already there. And once you re-establish your relationship with God, the whole formula changes. Everything becomes perfect. So much so that when you actually learn to appreciate and love Krishna, you're not going to be worried about any material thing. Because if he's taking care of the birds and the bees, he also is taking care of me. I don't have to worry. I don't have to go to Krishna and ask him for anything. Automatically it will come. What becomes interesting is that I have innate love for Krishna. Krishna is my supreme father. He is my best friend. He created me to enjoy with me. Just like the father and mother, they create a child to enjoy with him. So when that enjoyment is awakened, the beginning of love of God, that becomes so important and so wonderful that everything else, including the material situation, becomes insignificant. So Prabhupada wanted to teach this knowledge, and it is coming down from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First of all, Krishna, 5,000 years ago, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita. Modern scholars, they say, well, the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, it was written 1,500 years ago. We don't have any proof. But actually, according to the system of parampara, that you hear from your teacher, you assimilate the knowledge, you pass it on to your teacher, it is 5,000 years ago that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he accentuates the difference between the body and the soul. It's all about that. Arjuna was in bodily conception, that this is my cousin, this is my teacher, this is my grandfather, this is my family, and I don't want to fight against them. And Krishna was saying, it's none of these things, This is just a passing show. You're a spirit soul. And even if you make a proper arrangement for your material life, there is only one problem. This material life is like a stage show. It's like a movie, okay? So you go to the movie and you watch the movie, you identify with the actors, and you forget your own life. You enter into that movie script. There is only one problem with the movie. Who knows? What's the problem with
It
the
will
movie?
finish.
Huh?
It will finish.
Exactly. It's the last scene. The end. That's the problem. So Krishna is saying, Majaya Arjuna, you're in this movie, thinking that this is your kingdom, or your brother's kingdom. These are your brothers, these are your teachers, these are your cousins. But actually, it's none of this thing. It's temporary. Even if you get your kingdom, you will have to leave it behind. So, Krishna taught this, you're a spirit soul, you're eternally related to God, and you surrender to me. He says, first of all, you're a spirit soul, and I am the supreme soul. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. I am the supreme soul, Krishna says, and you are the servant of mine. You are my part and parcel. And perfection is you do what I say, you follow my instructions. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharma parijyaja mam ekam sharanam braja. Give up all your activities, all your dharmas, and simply surrender to me. In exchange, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshashyami. I will liberate you from all your illusion, from all your sinful activities. Every activity that we encounter is predicated by some activity that we did before. Anadi karama fale pori bhavanar navajale. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that because of beginningless karma, fruits of karma, karama fale, anadi, without any beginning, pori bhavanar, I fell into this ocean of material life. So we are all here and we're all different because we have all acted differently in previous lives. Apart from the fact that not one living entity is the same as another one, we also get our bodies which are different because we have acted differently. If you get an Indian body, that means you've acted piously in previous lives. You don't get birth in India. Because taking birth in India, as I said, is a small step to understand your spiritual nature. Very simple, very easy. But once we fall into the material world, the illusion is so deep that Bhaktivinoda says, Tari bare na deke upai. After coming into this material world, I don't see a way out. Upai means to become free, to become liberated from material contamination. And Krishna demands that the way to become free from our karma is to surrender unto me. But practically nobody did it. Even in India. When in the beginning years in India, as I said, we didn't make any Indian devotees. So many of us went to India to help Prabhupada spread the mission there. And gradually, now many Indian people are coming forward and appreciating the teachings which is already there. And the process of surrender, the process of how to surrender to Krishna, Krishna taught himself in his incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a historical figure. He appeared 550 years ago in Navadip, in Nadia, just north of Calcutta. And by his example, he taught the process of how to surrender. It's Krishna himself coming as his devotee to teach us how to surrender to Krishna. Just like a student when he's learning to write and he makes a mistake, then the teacher, he takes his hand and he says, you write like this. So this is the process. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present, this verse that I just read from Chaitanya Charitamrita was spoken by Mahaprabhu in Benares to the Mayavadi or impersonalist sannyasis there. And clearly says, hearing is the most important thing. Because just like when we're sleeping, how do we wake up? Suppose you're sleeping and I come and make a nice show. Is that going to wake you up? No. By seeing, you'll not wake up. You'll wake up by hearing. If you start making a noise, you'll wake up. So similarly, to wake up from illusion, you cannot see. It's by hearing. Shravanadi Shuddha. Beginning from hearing, we purify our heart. And what do we need to be purified from? From the identification with the body. Aham mama iti. I am this body. You know, Krishna consciousness is very simple. If you listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures and read his books, you know, in my home, I have an MP3 player and I have all of Prabhupada's lectures in date order, beginning from 1965 and ending in 1977. There's 1,700 lectures. So every day, because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so I put the MP3 on, so I'm listening to his lectures as the years go by. And Prabhupada is telling the same message over and over and over and over again. Very simple message. You're not the body, you're the spirit soul. Material life is temporary. Even if you become materially successful, you cannot take it with you. You're an eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna is your friend, Krishna is your father, Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your protector, Krishna is your supplier, Krishna is everything. That's the message, simple as that. And he keeps repeating it over and over again. And if you go to India, that message is very easily seen everywhere. It's not that everybody in India is dumb or asura. No, there are many devotees in India, all over the place, everywhere you go. So, when we went to India to help Prabhupada spread the mission there, it was a great education. Personally, I spent 10 years in India when I was a young man. And everything that I read in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads, you can see in India, in every village. When I was in India, there was no mobile phones, first of all. No satellite TV. So as soon as you left the city, you were in rural India. It was like going back 5,000 years. And people had a wonderful culture. You could see, even though they weren't materially prosperous or materially educated, they were prosperous in what they needed. Even today, if you go to Vrindavan and you move outside the city and see the villages, people live very simply. They have a few cows, they grow some wheat, some vegetables, they trade, everyone has his job, and they live very simply. Whereas if you come into the cities, then it becomes complicated. Then you need a car, you need an AC, you know, parents won't give you their daughter to marry unless you're rich. You have to have dowry. There's so many headaches, unending. And you cannot stay anywhere because you have to pay rent. You have to send your kids to school. Everything costs money, so you have to earn money. So you're under tremendous pressure. That's the point. Even if you become successful, you have to leave it all behind. What is the use? It's like, suppose I go to the Holland Casino, okay? And I gamble. And I'm making money gambling. But suppose the management of the casino says, "My dear sir, you can gamble as much as you want, but there is one rule." What is that? You cannot take your winnings out. How many people do you think are going to gamble there? This is a material world. We're gambling our precious life, our precious energy, and we cannot take anything with us. We have to leave it all behind. What is the point? Even as a boy, I couldn't understand this. Two things I couldn't understand as I grew up. First thing was this, that even if I become successful, I cannot take it with me. I have to leave it all behind when I die. And second thing is, we're not all born equal. In other words, we don't all start off equally. Somebody is born intelligent, somebody is born stupid. Somebody is born with a silver spoon in his mouth, somebody else has to live under a tree. So obviously we are not, but everything else that I saw, the material energy was very exact. The sun rose at a certain time, sets at a certain time, seasons follow each other. Just like, there's a tram here. Every 7 minutes, tram 12 stops here and goes to Central Station. What does that mean? That means somebody's organizing it. Because if I go to the tram stop and the tram comes in 7 minutes and then it doesn't come for 15 minutes, or then two trams come, then the first thing you're going to say is, who's managing this? Predictable activities of the material nature predicates an intelligent management behind it. So I could figure that out, that everything is managed intelligently, but we don't start off equally. Why? Why aren't we all born with equally? Why don't we get born all with equal opportunities?
Karma from the past lives.
Huh?
Because of the karma from the past
Yeah, I'm
lives.
coming to that. Of course, exactly. That predicates there is something before. If there is a previous karma, that means there's a previous birth. That means I'm not this body. That means this temporary activity is created by me in previous lives. And what I'm doing now, that's the next thing. And what I'm doing now is going to create another activity for me in the next life. Now that's a big break on your aspirations and activities. It shapes you somehow. And I was fortunate enough as a young kid to read a book about reincarnation, so I started believing in reincarnation. And then, I grew up and main activity was chasing girls and getting high. That was the story of my life. But at one point I got fed up with that too. Because there is no happiness in it. There can only be happiness in material relationships. Those of you who are married, who have partners, who have children, that happiness there is dependent on how much you can put Krishna in the middle of it. Because if you can put Krishna in the middle of it, then it becomes a continuum. It's not going to end when you die, or when your child dies, or when your partner dies. Because you understand you're all spirit soul, and therefore, if you act spiritually in this life, you're guaranteed further spiritual activities in future lives. And that's also explained by Krishna. Neha Bikrama Nasho Asti. He says, in this endeavor of Krishna consciousness, Nasho Asti, Neha, there is no finish, it doesn't finish. Pratyavayo Navidyate, there is no diminution. In fact, Krishna says, even a little activity in spiritual life, like what we're doing now. Swalpam api. Swalpam means a little bit. Asya dharmasya, in this dharma, trayate mahato bhayat. You become free from the greatest fear. And the greatest fear is that whatever you're building is going to finish. But when you're Krishna consciousness, you're building for now and for the future. It's not going to be finished. And this is what we're trying to do. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure this out. I'm not a genius. I'm simply repeating what I heard from Srila Prabhupada. As I said, he repeats the simple message again and again and again. And what Prabhupada lectures in 1965 is not different to what he lectures in 1975. Because the truth is the truth. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you're rooted in the truth, then you're not worried about anything. It's just like Lord Shiva. It's a nice story of Lord Shiva and Parvati. Lord Shiva was sitting under a tree and Parvati was sitting on his lap, left lap. So one devotee, one demigod, Chitraketu, he was flying his aeroplane and he saw Lord Shiva with Parvati on his lap, so he laughed. He said, just see, the great renunciate Lord Shiva, he's so attached he has his wife on his lap. So Lord Shiva, he laughed, he took it, he understood it was a joke. But Parvati, being a woman, she didn't like the joke so much. So she became angry. She said, you rascal, you dare criticize me? She said, you take another birth as a demon. So she cursed him. So Chitraketu, Bhagavatam says, he was very powerful. He could have reacted to the curse. But he didn't. He honored Durga Devi, Parvati, and he said, my dear mother, he says, thank you for punishing me, I deserve this. He accepted the curse. So then Lord Shiva commented to his wife, Parvati, and he said, my dear Devi, just see, he says, devotee of Vishnu, he says, he doesn't become angry. You became angry, but he didn't. He said, I'm trying to remember the verse. It says, Narayana para sarve. Narayana para. Those who have Narayan as the goal of life. So he told her, he quoted this verse, Narayana para sarve na kurtaschana vidyati. So one who has Narayan as his goal of life is not worried about anything in life. Swarga, whether he's in the heavenly planets, Apavarga, whether he becomes liberated from the material world, Narakeshwar, whether he's in hell, Sarva Tulyartha Darshina. He sees everything equally. So this is what we're trying to do here, to develop this knowledge that we can see things equally, then no matter what the material world throws at us, we can react. We don't have to react. We can absorb it because we have something better. It's just like if you're very strong and a weaker man tries to attack you, doesn't make sense. If you fix in your own strength, then Swapam abhyasya dharmasya, Krishna says, if you make a little advancement, trayate mahato bhayat, to become free from the greatest fear. What is the greatest fear? What is this mahato bhayat Krishna is speaking about?
Falling down into the lower species.
What?
Falling down into the lower species of life.
Exactly. Losing your human birth. Using your ears. Because the animals cannot hear. How many is here? We were 50 people here. Suppose I go to some houses and get all the pets, the dogs and cats, and bring them all here. What do you think is going to happen? Be chaos. There'll be chaos. They won't hear. They just don't have it. Much as I love dogs and cats, they don't have the ability to hear about God. But we have. And to lose that ability, that is the Mahabhaya, that is the greatest fear. And you don't lose it if you practice it in this life. Because you always begin your next life from where you left off in this life. And if your main interest in this life is spiritual advancement, you need a human birth in the next life to continue. But if your main interest in this life is simply to enjoy your senses, then sense enjoyment you can get in any species of life. Whereas spiritual practice requires a human body. So Krishna says, even if you make a little advancement, tarayate mahato bhayat, you become free from the greatest fear. So this is what we're trying to do for the Sunday feast. It's nice to be the devotees, but we see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we take prasad, and we discuss about this philosophy. It's very interesting. You know, once you begin in understanding your spiritual identity, there is nothing more exciting, there is nothing more interesting. And even you may move away, because material life sometimes can be dangerous. Material allurement can be very strong, so you can be deviated. But in the end, you always come back to Krishna, because it's the only thing that makes any sense. Nothing else makes sense. Why doesn't anything else make sense? Because everything else is temporary. You have to die. Again, you come back to the same thing. Jamma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Doshan, Udarshanam, Krishna said, look at it. Anudarshanam, very, very minutely. Anu means finely, following, not just by your own speculation. Inquire from people we're not the first group to study this. This knowledge has been studied by human civilization since the beginning of time. So, I forget my thread. Anyhow, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Krishna himself came as his own devotee to teach us the process of devotional service. And some 200 years after his appearance, it was practically forgotten in India. The process of bhakti, of Harinam Sankirtan, introduced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one great saint called Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he came from the spiritual world to re-establish this process. And we are his followers, and he has written many, many beautiful songs, many beautiful poetry. And one particular song which I very much like, actually Bhaktivinoda has written dozens, 100 songs, and you cannot pick one which is better than the other. Because when you appreciate one song, you find another one that's even better. And he says, Buliya tomare samsare ashya. My dear Krishna is teaching us how to approach Krishna. Buliya tomare, I forgot you. Samsare ashya, and I came into this material world. Now I know many devotees that discuss, if we were with Krishna in some previous life, how did we leave Krishna and come into the material world? Well, you know, we all live in different places. It's not that we leave this temple and all go to the same place. And it's not that we came here from the same place either. We all came from different parts of the city. So in the same way, we came into the material world from different ways. When you become liberated from material life, you will know why you've come to the material world. But right now, it is a fact that we are here because we forgot Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda prays, my dear Lord, Buliya tomare, I forgot you. Samsara ashya, I came into this world of samsara. That's the problem here. Samsara, that we take birth again and again and again, and the same story, different poetry, same meaning. Peye nana vida beata. And I got, coming into the material world, I simply suffering all kinds of miseries. Therefore, I am coming to you, to Krishna, Bolibo Dukera Katha, and I'm telling you the story of my problems. It's not a disadvantage to admit your problems in front of Krishna, because Krishna already knows your problems. Before even you know them, Krishna is in your heart. He knows what's going on. So, Bhaktivinoda continues with the song, and he said, Janani Jatare Chilum Chakona. Says, long ago when I was in the womb of my mother, Vishame Bandiya Pasha said, I got tied up, bound up. Pasha means rope, to be tied up. Ekbar Prabhu, Dekudiya More Bonshilo, Edina Nasik. But in my pain in the womb of my mother, I remembered you, and you showed yourself to me, but now you've forgotten me. He said, at that time I promised that if I take birth, I will worship you. But Janama Hoile Pori Maya Jale Na Hoilo Gyana Lav. By taking birth, it was such a traumatic experience, I forgot that promise. What happened? What happened was, Adorera Chele, Swajanera Kole, Ashia Kaitanutam. I became a little baby, and in the lap of my parents, the lap of my mother and father, I smiled and time passed. Janaka Janani Snehete Bhuliya. In the affectionate embrace of my mother and father, Janaka Janani, Snehete, in their sneha, in their affection, Bhuliya, I forgot. Samsara Lagilo Balo. And I thought, actually, this material life is very nice. This happened to all of us. When we're in the womb of the mother, we understand what's going on. But when we take birth, it's such a traumatic experience. We completely forget. It's just like if you have a major accident, sometimes it causes amnesia. You forget. And the only cure for that amnesia is to be reminded of your life before you forgot. So taking birth causes this amnesia, and the only cure is to hear about a relationship with God, which is actually precedes the amnesia. So then Bhaktivinoda continues and he says, Arkishudine Balaka Hoya. After a few days, I became a young boy. Notice he doesn't say after a few years. He says after a few days, because time flies. No? In 2 months I'll be 80 years old. 80 is a lot of years. But I remember like yesterday when I was 8. So what happened to those 70 years? They went by just like light. So Bhaktivinoda comments on this, that time is very, very difficult to come to grips with. So Arkishudine Balaka over here, Kelino Balaka. And what did I do? Kelino, I played with my friends. Arkishudine, a few more days, Gyana Uparjibo, I started getting knowledge at school. Pathapuri Ahar Ahar. And I started studying again and again and again. What was the result of that studying? Gaurava, Vidyara Gaurava, Brahmi Desha Desha. With that knowledge, Vidyar, with that Vidya, Gaurava became very proud. And I went from place to place, Brahmi Desha Desha. Why? What was it? What did I do that for? Dana Uparjana Kori, to earn money. And why did I want to earn money? Swadana Palana, to maintain my family. Kori Ekamane, I became so absorbed in maintaining my family and using my knowledge to get money. The result was Bhulino Tomara Hari. I forgot about you. This is the story of everybody's life. You don't have to go to Hollywood to write it. It's there. Then he says, Bardaki Ekono. Now I'm an old man. Bardaki Ekono. Bhaktivinoda. Kadiya Katarvati. Bhaktivinoda say, now I'm an old man and I'm crying like anything. Why am I crying? Navajiyatari, I didn't worship you. Dina Britangelu, my days are finished. Ekonoki Hobegati, where am I going to go now? Now, if that's not powerful, I don't know what is. That speaks to me. And this is our business, to understand this. And it's not a sentimental thing. It's not only for Hindus, and not, it's for everyone. This is what we're offering. So, we have a few minutes if you have any questions or any comments. Yes, Martha.
Could you sing the button, please?
Pardon?
Could you sing the button?
Could I sing the bhajan?
Question.
Yes.
You said that there is no real happiness here. That's more or less the main point of your talk. But still, I know this in a theoretical way. Took a little while for me to get to understand that, and it's very obvious. But still, it's quite a high level. I have found that it's a very high level to actually realize it, because still these material pleasures, they look so much more pleasurable than spiritual activity.
Yeah, but you have no choice.
Yeah, that's true, but still the taste is not. It seems like the happiness is very different. It's a very high level to actually.
First of all,
experience the happiness.
that's the material nature is designed to be frustrating. Material nature is designed in such a way that unless we put Krishna in our lives, we're going to be frustrated, no matter what you do.
But still, it looks so. I think many more people have this problem.
I don't think so.
Devotees also have this
I was coming from the position you're saying, so if it's possible for me, it's possible for everyone.
problem. On the basis of intelligence, I agree completely with you.
I mean, I came to Holland because I wanted to enjoy my senses. I was living in South Africa. I had a job. I had everything I needed, a career, but I gave it all up to come here and get high. So if it's possible for me to change my mind, it's possible for everyone.
Well, that's not the kind. I'm past that too. But
Good.
still, to sit down and read for hours, chant for hours, I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult to actually experience happiness.
Okay.
But I'm not contradicting what you said. I think you're totally right.
All right. About singing the song, is two problems. First of all, is in 3 quarters. Bulia tomare samsare ashiya penana vida vyata tomara charane ashiya chinatha buligo dukera katha. That's the song. If you like to come to my house one day, we can sing it with the guitar and the drum, and I'll be very happy to sing it for you. But let's go on with the question. It takes too long to sing the whole song.
So you're inviting.
Yes,
How we can have a taste for bhakti?
I can have taste for bhakti
How?
by remembering Krishna. It's already there in your heart.
Like the pastimes, reading pastime.
Not just what we're doing now, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, associating with sadhus, with people who are interested in this subject matter, instead of associating with people who have other interests. In Italian, we have a saying that dimmi con chi vai e ti dirò chi sei. Tell me who you associate with, and I'll tell you who you are. So, even Prabhupada commented, he said that you don't become a drunkard right away. First you associate with people who drink, and you drink a little bit, then a little more, and eventually you become a full-fledged drunkard. Any other questions?
How did you meet Prabhupada? How did you meet Prabhupada?
I was actually a devotee here on my own for almost 1 year
In Amsterdam.
in Haarlem,
Okay.
but here in Amsterdam. And then I joined a temple in Italy for 9 months. And then Prabhupada came to France, and the authorities in my temple didn't let me go to France to see him.
Oh.
I became very upset. So I made a plan and I went to India.
Okay.
So in 1976, in the autumn, I went to Vrindavan and I met Prabhupada there and I spent 2 months with him
Oh.
in Vrindavan. But as I said at the beginning of the lecture, it's not by seeing it's important, it's by hearing. And because if you learn to hear from Prabhupada, even today, he's not physically present, but his teachings are present. And I remember in Vrindavan, they had a 24-hour kirtan. So sometimes I would have to participate, and I would get the middle of the night, from 1 in the morning to 3, or from 2 to 4. I would be doing Harinam. And everybody was asleep, but I was seeing Prabhupada's room, and his lights was on. And he was sitting at his desk. He had a special mosquito net made, which covered the whole desk, so he was completely protected from the mosquitoes, and he'd be translating. I thought to myself, why is he doing this in the middle of the night? That's pretty important. So I realized that the most important thing in Prabhupada's life was not managing us, but giving this knowledge in his books. So if you want to please him, you read his books, because that's where he puts his most energy. All right? Yes.
He was staying in Radha Damodar temple while he was writing a lot of things in front of Rupa Goswami's Samadhi when he was translating. So did he share some experiences from that part of his life?
Well, that was before he came to America.
But maybe he might have shared with the disciples.
I wasn't there. But he wrote the Bhagavatam, the first 3 volumes, when he was living in Radha Damodar. Yes. His room is still there, you can go and visit. All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Ananda Sarup Prabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Kanta Gaur Chandra ki
Somebody else can do it.
Jaya Karunani Jaya Karunani Jaya Kiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aroti Kasho Kiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Aroti Kasho Jaya Jaya Gora Chande
Shrimati Bhakti
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक शोधर सदस्य श्रीमद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की तुमसे कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वसादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन मथुरा राम की जय नवद्वीप Mayapur Dham ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
There's a Radhika. She wanted to sing after long time.
Radhika?
No, Satakshi.
Wat is taxi van?
Yeah.
Wil je zingen, Frits?
Namaste Narashimhaya.
Namaste
भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की प्रभुपाद की
श्रीमती तुलसी महाराज की So we will now perform Tulsi Puja. Tulsi Maharani is very important to us. She is a devotee of Lord Krishna in disguise of devotee. And so it's why we worship her. And we will do a small arti ceremony for her. Afterwards, everyone outside can circumambulate Tulsi Maharani and put one drip of water in her pot.
वृंदाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः तुलसी महारानी की नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा Krishna Dasi Koye Namo Namo Krishna Dasi Koye Namo Radha Govinda Preme Radha Yani kani chapapani brahmachari tani 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 pranashanti pradakshina pare pare Yani kani chapapani brahmachari tani Yani kani chapapani brahmahatyani kani tani tani pranashanti pradakshina pare pare Yani kani chapapani brahmahatyani kani Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। वृंदायै तुलसीदेव्यायै प्रियायै केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। वृंदायै तुलसीदेव्यायै प्रियायै केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की।
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for coming today. It's Sunday feast. Are you okay? You can sit if you want to. First of all, I would like to thank our lecturer of today, His Grace Ananda Swarup Prabhu. Give him a big Haribol. Cooks of today, Niramba Prabhu and his team. A big Haribol. Also Haribol. The shoppings for the cooking were done by Jayashri Mataji, assisted by Pramila and Tulsi. Give them also a big Haribol. Flowers today. Flowers. Triveni Mataji, Malati Lalita Mataji, Hemakundra Mataji. So big Haribol to them. Technical staff, Vivek Prabhu, thank you, Haribol. And all pujaris serving this temple, sponsors, other volunteers, visitors today, Haribol! So upcoming Saturday, 3rd of June, there is a garland workshop. So Sophia Mataji will teach how to make garlands for the deities. So I think there is still some spaces left, so you have to register. The link for that is in our newsletter, you can find it. So you are very well welcome, because we need devotees who can make more garlands. So it would be nice if you join. There's also Prashad, nice Prashad on that day.
See you again.
Then the day after that, 4th June, during our regular Sunday feast, we will celebrate Snan Yatra and Manihati Chidadahi Festival. So Snan Yatra means the bathing of Lord Jagannath, Baladeva Subhadra Maharani. They will come from Alphen aan de Rijn, the deities of Ritam Prabhu. So we will make a nice feast. Together with that, the Manihati Chidadahi Festival, the festival of chipped rice. And yogurt, something like that.
It's here, next week, right?
Next week here, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
In the temple indeed. So the program will start from 3 and will last till 8 o'clock. So you're very much welcome to come to join us in this big festival. Let's make a really nice festival for Lord Jagannath Prabhu Subhadra Maharani and Lord Gaur and Gauritai that day.
So those who are for the first time today here, please raise your hands. Oh, wow. So thank you so much for coming today and to give a little token of appreciation to our first time guests. So maybe you can raise your hands again. You are all English speakers, Dutch? English, okay. So please come more often if you're able to. It's very nice. It's very nice to have you over here. Anybody I left? You are learning Dutch. Thank you so much. If you want to stay up to date with our programs, please visit our website. It's called amsterdam.nl, or subscribe to our newsletter. It can also be done on our website, or just come to me, then I will add you. We have also an app group, multiple app groups actually, also for volunteers. If you want to join those app groups, there is a QR code in the hall. You can also come to me or one of the other temple board members. We will add you to the group. So, Prashadam today is packed in the hallway. Take a box with you. If you would like to consider a small or big donation, whatever you are able to, because this temple really depends on donations. And this also for yourself. Just consider like investment in a spiritual bank account, which will grow very much. So it will be very much appreciated. Our program will continue till 6:30 with bhajan. If you leave, thank you for coming. Please come again next week and please stay for the bhajan. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Karunanai Gaurachandra ki.
Jai Shri Krishna Jai
Hare Krishna
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda
Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for praying for us today. Somebody else is ready.
He's taking over.
So sit down for 5 minutes. Look at that. Just sit. Ajit. Prashadam is ready. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Program is over. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's go.
What about you are what about
So I can bring you something.
Maharaj?
I don't know how to say
We don't know when we will pull the curtain back. It doesn't want to take us. So if you're already doing it since 3 years, 4 years now,
Please take your shot out, you guys.
get it done. Now it's happening in June, we know for sure. It's happening.
No. Je hebt niet eens vast.
You know it's holidays, right?
Ik dacht er nog al van mee.
June is holiday.
Please take your shot out.
In July. You're in Spain.
Only the last two.
The last week.
Oh, very good. Nice. You want to go this time?
One moment, let me turn this off.
Anna,
Did they turn it off?
just ask them if they No, yeah. So, to me, when they speak, it seems like they seem like having some yeah. So it's better, and she was speaking again yesterday that it's all because you are interesting. For your understanding. I do want to support, I want to make sure that I want to get a new person.
Can you push that back?
खाना मामा मामा इसलिए खाना मामा खाना yeah, it's a bit and anyway, you are trying to set your
Thank Close the door.
you told me because I remember that you told me and then I told her that I used to water chicken, so that's why I crossed it with you.
It's good.
But that doesn't matter. It's okay. You are going over in 4 years. You don't need to worry about 6 months. You are going over in 4 years. That's okay. We got we pushed for also Radhika Anjali. She just she started on the day or 2 days before.